I'm having a really slow start this morning. I don't feel well. I just had my morning bathroom trip with my terrible IBS, and now I'm in pain. So, I know I need to go to work at some point this week. I was really planning on going in today. I'm hoping that maybe if I rest for like half an hour, I can get up the spoons to get ready and actually go to work. You know how there used to be that rumor that if you put Mentos and Coke in your stomach, it would explode? That's kind of how I feel right now. So on day 2, I was feeling really sick and I didn't get any footage besides that of me getting ready. So I'm just gonna do a voiceover on the footage that I did get so it looks like I kind of did something in the day. I didn't leave the house because I was trying not to throw up because I have a chronic illness where I throw up like all the time. So moving on from that, I read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I'm sorry. I really wish I could pronounce that name. It was a really good book. I actually really love the topic of adoption. I've always been interested in it. You know, growing up, I always loved watching movies like Annie and Oliver, and I always just kind of had an interest in adopting in the future. And then when I got into college, I started writing essays on the topic. You had to choose a topic for the classes that I was taking, and I decided to focus on interracial adoption. And I found out that a lot of people are against it. And then I found out there's a lot of implications behind adopting a child of another race. And you have to be sure to immerse them in their culture and make sure that they know their identity because it's an important part of who they are. And you have to think about dealing with the grief of losing their parent because for you to be able to adopt a child, another family had to be torn apart. There is always going to be grief there. You have to approach it appropriately. You know, you can't just be like, oh, yay, this family was torn apart. You know, like, you can be happy that you got a child, but don't make it into something that it's not, you know? And I really like how Little Fires Everywhere addresses the topic, and it shows you a lot of the gray areas of adoption because there's not a black and white, just this is how it goes. It's always perfect. Adoption is messy. There's a story in there of a woman who becomes a surrogate, but then decides to keep the baby instead of give it to the parents, and she lies and says that she lost the baby. There's a case where a woman was incredibly poor and didn't even know that she could get welfare because she's just in this new country, didn't speak the language. She was just really struggling with her baby and she didn't know what to do. So she left it at a fire station, and then later she decides that she wants to keep the baby because she gets her life better together, and the baby's been adopted, and there's a whole lawsuit between her and the adoptive parents because she wants her baby back, and it's just a really hard situation to look at because, you know, the parents who adopted the child, yeah, they're very well off. They obviously really want a child. They've been trying for years. They tried fertility treatment and all of that. And you feel for those parents, but you also feel for her maternal parent, you know, and it's hard to say because is their biological parent the best person for them to be with? Probably, you know. She might not have as many opportunities in life if she does go with her parent, but maybe she'll have less of a hole in her life, you know? It's hard to say. How do you speak up for a baby that can't say what they want, you know? I also read a comic called Sunstone, which is basically the delve into BDSM that you wish that 50 Shades of Grey was. And it's also a lesbian story, so, you know, that makes it more interesting. I am both straight and not into BDSM, but I did find it educational, and I kind of liked the love story between the two, so it was interesting. Feel free to check it out if you're into adult content, you know. It's a comic, beautiful art, done really well. I just read the first volume, but that also unintentionally accomplished the goal of reading an entire book in one place because I read the whole thing at my desk. And then for the audiobook of Little Fires Everywhere, I was also just scrolling through Twitter and Facebook and stuff while listening to it, so that wouldn't have been very interesting footage either.